Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good afternoon to everyone. My name is Muhammad Syahir bin Sani Pansuri and I'm from 6PM3. Okay. Today I'm going to talk about the Russian invasion and the soaring fuel price that shakes airline industry. As we know, we had already survived the era of the pandemic and lived along with the COVID-19. It never rains but it pours. After the pandemic, the world is shaken by the war between Ukraine and Russia. There are a lot of effects of the Russia-Ukraine war, such as skyrocketing price of gold, wheat, and oil. Today, I'm going to focus on what are the consequences of this crisis towards airline. First of all, Russia is the world's largest exporter of oil to global markets and the second largest crude oil exporter behind Saudi Arabia. Besides, Russia is also one of the countries that hold the largest amount of gold. Due to this war, gold and oil price increased drastically. This new crisis affected every airline in the world. This war has sent the price of the oil rocketing to a 14-year high. Due to war, investors are afraid and send the airline tremble as they ran away. According to the chief executive of Ryanair, it will be difficult for most of the airlines for the next 12 months. This crisis threatens the demand for flying. On 9 March 2022, the price of crude oil rose to $139 per barrel. Fuel can represent about 35% of the airline operating costs. Some of the airlines that stopped hedging were affected during this crisis. As an example, Wizz Air stock has fallen near 50% since the mid of February to its lowest level in 18 months. What is hedging? Is an investment that is made with the intention of reducing the risk of adverse price movements in an asset. I will show you the graph of crude oil. As we can see from the chart, this is the price of crude oil during the second day of the war between Russia and Ukraine. The price is at $90 per barrel. For the second chart, we can see that the latest crude oil price spiked to $118 per barrel. This is the reason why the industries needed to hedge for crude oil as the price is not fixed. Back to the hedging, many airlines have pulled back their hedging because they thought that the airline is consolidated enough and have more pricing power. For those industries who still keep on hedging will benefit their company during this crisis. It is true that during this crisis, IAG managed to hit their operating profit margin when the oil price was $100 per barrel, but the question is, will the airline able to pass the cost on to customers at a time fragile demand outside of the peak period? Even they raise the ticket price, they will have to cut the capacity during off-peak period. Due to low demand, it will be a lot harder to lift off the burden of the fuel price shock. Besides, the airlines need to use another route as the European airlines are no longer can take a shortcut across Russia. For a long term, carriers will face more expensive trip through growing market, which includes China and India. Lufthansa and Ryanair reported that the ticket sale is slowed down when the war broke out. In the latest crisis, domestic and short-haul focused airlines are likely to cope best, while long-haul airlines, which suffer the most during the pandemic, are more exposed. In conclusion, Airlines need to keep on hedging whether their pricing power is high or low because we never know what will happen in the future. There might be a war, pandemics, low supply of oil, and more. This will ensure that the airlines are always in a safe position. I think that is all from me regarding the war crisis that affected the crude oil price. Thank you.